Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. Welcome to the lecture 12 in a periodicity and transition element for physical and inorganic chemistry. For the chapter outline, we're going to touch the structural features of periodic table, classification in blocks, effective nuclear charge, and periodic properties and trend for the atomic size, ionization energy, electronegativity, and electroaffinity. They have a summary of periodic trend and transition element trend and properties. For at the end of the lecture, you should be able to define the term effective nuclear charge, shielding effect, what is electronegativity, ionization energy, and electron affinity. And then you can relate all the knowledge to explain the periodic table, trend, and behavior for each element, and can relate the predictable trend in terms of electron configuration for the quantum numbers. So when we are looking to the structural and features of periodic table, you need to know, you need to I will explain the keyword and highlight all the important terms in order to you for easily observe based on the notes given. Of course, this note is not the whole notes for the our knowledge, but it will give you some figure to the uh, to the predictable features and structure. So if we want to study the feature of predictable, we start from the general view for the whole predictable. What is the left to right? What is up and down to group element? Why they group together? How about the descending period? So in the periodic table, it talk about the classification of grouping, physical trend, chemical trend. From the physical, what is the term that we considered, on so on. So when we're looking at the periodic table, this is from left to right. They have 1 to 18 columns called group, and then from down in the group 1 to 7 period, and then at the number 3 to 11 it is called transition element, and below the transition element called lanthanide and actinide. Zoom into the element when they are grouping, meaning to say they have a same characteristic, the same behavior. Like group 1, it's considered as a alkali metal unless the hydrogen. For group 2 is alkaline metal. The group 18 is noble gases. Group 17 is halogen group. And the yellow color is called metallite. Metallite meaning to say this have a character of semiconductor. And in the middle of the periodic table is a transition element. And the last one, the green one, is a lanthanide and actinide, so called as a rare element. So when we look to the physical and chemical part of the periodic table, you can see the physical part will talk about the atomic size, the train, and the chemical part will talk about electronegativity, electron affinity, and ionization, how it going to be. And next we can explain about that. Classification in blocks. What caused the periodicity is due to the repetition of similar outer shell and electronic configuration at a certain regular interval. For the period of the table, you can see for group 1 to 2 is we call S block, and group 13 to 17 we call is P block, and group transition element we call as D block element, and the inner transition metal, that's lanthanide and actinide, is D block element. So next we are going to talk about the atomic size. How about the atomic size, the ionization energy? So before we talk the atomic size, ionization energy, we need to know what is the effective nuclear charge.